Okay, so I've been having some problems with this Husqvarna backpack blower, and we're gonna do a little video on diagnosing the problems, tear apart the carburetor and all that, and see what's going on with it. So it's warmed up a little bit, and I'll show you what it just does. To do that, you just unscrew this cover, and the filter is already in there, but sometimes it might be right here. You have to take it out. Then next step is to unscrew both of these Phillips screws, and then they'll come out, and just take that out of the carburetor assembly. Next step is to get the throttle trigger loose, and that's simple. You just basically push this back and push this wire up until it gets out, then you can just pull it out. And then the carburetor should come off the gas lines. That one already disconnected. Keep track of where they go. So the clearer one goes to the part closest to the engine when it's on there, and the black one just goes there, and just take them off. Before I mess with the carburetor, I'm going to check the spark arrestor screen. So basically, you just take out that screw, and the screw down there, and then you take off the spark plug cover or cap, and it should slide off the shroud. And then basically you take off that Phillips screw right there, and you should be able to slide the spark arrestor screen out and check it. After you get that screw off, your screen should just slide out. And as you can see, this one is very clean. You can see right through it. Now if there was something blocking it, like carbon, you would need to burn it off with a propane torch, or find a way to get it out with like a wire brush or something else. But this one seems to be clean, so that one can just go back in there, and we'll move on to the carburetor. We're going to look at the carburetor, so take off the 2 screws holding on this cover here, and you can just set that aside, and then take off the 4 screws holding on this assembly here, and take that off. So that comes off, and you can take off this diaphragm and gasket, and just inspect this. This one looks like it could be a little bit worn out. It should be just flat, and this one has sort of a pocket here where it doesn't, like, well, it kind of bulges out to one side, and that's not good. So we might need a new one of them. And then if you want, you can take off this throttle assembly here, but you don't have to. That's not necessary, but I think I will. It's only 2 screws. Parts look a little bit dirty. So what you're going to want to do now is just basically spray everything down with some carburetor cleaner, and just let them dry a little bit, and then put it back together, and I'll show you how to put it back together, and then stick it back on your unit, and should be clean. It might need to be rebuilt after this, but first we're going to give it a try at just cleaning it out. So yeah, what you're going to do is just take some carburetor cleaner with a nozzle preferably, and just spray everything down. It doesn't need the outside of it clean, but mostly the inside parts. Just get them really clean, no dirt on it, so when you put it back together you don't get dirt anywhere in it. Just use some carburetor spray, or you can use carburetor dip if you prefer. Start putting it back together after you get everything clean. This is the main part you need to get clean. Just make sure there's no dirt inside of it and everything. And now just take your gasket right here, put it back how it was, which is like that, and just make sure it gets all in the grooves and everything. And now take the little cover that was over it, put that like that, and your two little screws just go in there, and now just screw them in tight. Well, not too tight, but tight enough. Let's work on this side. Okay, so you put this diaphragm and gasket, if they're still together, back like that. And then this part here, turn it over, you get this part, and that should go like this, over that. And then this part, turn it around, and it goes right over that. And then you can put your primer bulb on top of that, and then the cover goes like that, and then just put in your 4 screws here back in. Put our throttle assembly back on, just put it on top how it was, and put your 2 screws back in. And the check is going to be our spark plug. Just take the spark plug boot or cap off again. Get a, what is this, a 19mm long socket, loosen it up, and then just take it all the way out with your hands, and just inspect that. Looks good. Just clean it off with a wire brush if you have one, and then we're gonna gap it to the proper gap if it's not already at it. Now take your spark plug and get the gapping tool, one like this. You can buy these online or at Harbor Freight and other tool stores. Just take your spark plug, get near the electrode and the gap there, and just see what the gap is. By the way, you want it to be 0.3 thousandths of an inch, or 30 thousandths of an inch, 0.3 hundredths of an inch. And that's about right, if you can see. So we don't need to gap that. Just put it back in, and we'll see how we'll put the carburetor back on and see how the blower runs after that. Okay, I just started it up and ran it for a little bit, and it actually runs pretty good right now. So basically it was just a dirty carburetor, and we re-gapped the spark plug and cleaned it, and I don't know if that had any difference to it, but it couldn't hurt. So make sure the thing's on, and it should start in one pull, and I'll show you how good it runs now. Starts up really easy. Husqvarna 125 BT blower that I've had for a little while. This is not a customer's blower, this is actually mine. I use it for the house. It's a really good, small, lightweight backpack blower. It's about the smallest you can get, but it does a good job. Still puts out a good amount of airflow. And yeah, if anyone wants to see anything on this, I know I did have a request from someone a long time ago about doing a blowing video with this thing, but it wasn't working, so I couldn't. And now since it is working good, I think I will get to that soon. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, and check out my other videos. And yeah, just any questions, put them in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.